You've got the Burley Bobcats on one hand, whose high-profile offense has seen them score no less than 42 points in any game this season. Our game of the week, the battle between the Oakley Hornets and the Raffier Trojans, just after that. Back to you guys in the studio. I'm Zach Bruhl with KMVT Sports. Standing here with Kelsey Brizendine of Twin Falls Bureau of Land Management. Kelsey, how's the firefight going at this point?
Things are pretty touch and go at this point.
Listen, I don't care what meteorologist Eric Brill says today. It feels like fall. It's 75 degrees. We've got high school football about ready to kick off. Tonight, I'm here for the Burley Bobcats playing host to the Shelley Russets. Here with head coach Cameron Anderson, whose team has gotten off to one heck of a start. 62 points in both week 1 and week 2 outings. What's fueled this offense? What's kind of been the juice for you guys so far?
We've got really dynamic players, and we like to get them the ball in space, and anytime you can get really good kids the ball in an area where they can make a play, they generally do good things. So we're just relying on the kids that we have. That's the most important quality.
Now, for the past few years, the Bobcats program's not been too highly regarded, a few loaded loss seasons, but now you kind of got a target on your back. One first-place vote in the state. How are the returning kids handling that new role that they're playing in the state?
I'm not sure any of them know. I mean that they have a first-place vote. For us, we're so zoned in on what we need to do every single game, and the focus this week has just been Shelley. We haven't talked about anything other than Shelley. So when they get grounded, they've been starving to have some success and do good things. But for me, it's just reminding them about the most important thing, which is what we have right in front of us today.
Well, they're not watching now, so they won't hear that. So I'll keep your secret safe here. We're just about 35 minutes away from kickoff here. And, of course, tune into KMVT News at 10 tonight, where we recap all the area highlights from your week in Idaho Prep football. Now back to you guys in the studio. Now, in tonight's top story, today marks yet another milestone in the long journey toward recovery for Idaho State Police Sergeant Mike Wendler, who has been recovering in Idaho Falls since he was struck by a vehicle on September 8th. Saturday afternoon, Sergeant Wendler, flanked by a large convoy of emergency response vehicles, made his journey home. He will continue to have a long road to full recovery with physical and neurological challenges ahead. An odor that comes from the manholes along the road has begun to be intolerable for those who live near it.
It seemed to always be down there and you just get through it and then you're fine. But just over the past few years, it's gotten steadily worse.
The odor comes right out of the main line of the sewer, which runs directly in front of Bishop's house. And according to a city contracted plumber he spoke to, years of growth in the area have led to the pipe being completely overloaded.
My house hooks directly into the sewer line.
Plastic trash cans with easy movable lids like these have served as animal attractants in the city of Ketchum for years. Following years of discussion and an unfortunate bear euthanization earlier this summer, the city of Ketchum has decided to take a more proactive step. They'll be bringing animal-proof trash cans into the city.
I think by the actions Ketchum is taking now, they are saying, you know, we want to make sure that our residents are safe and we want to make sure our bears stay wild.
We are so excited.
After more than a year of planning and construction with interruptions due to shipping delays and inflated costs, Valley House's Beyond Shelter facility with 15 units and capacity to up to 60 Magic Valley residents is just about ready to open its doors.
Jack Schemmel here alongside Zach Bruhl here to break down your week 5 of prep football action. And let's start where we always do with our game of the week. Zach, I'll let you take this one away.
Well, it's the Minico Spartans who have 18 consecutive River Rivalry game victories, hosting the Burley Bobcats in that River Rivalry game. Both teams inside the top 5 according to the coaches poll, making this year's matchup a can't-miss event. Can the Spartans keep Burley's high-flying offense in check? The Bobcats coming in off of an 82-point performance last week. First quarter, Minico on the doorstep. I'm fooled by the fake. So's the defense. Japheth Bendeley does punch it in, 6-0 home team. In swing possession, Caleb Loveland looking to respond. He goes deep looking for Braxton Bowen, but it's overthrown and picked off by JT Garza on the sideline. Packed house at Bill Matthews Field. Does love a little bit of that. Minico takes advantage back on the 1-inch line. Quarterback Kason Wayman says, I can do that myself. Ball pops through across the goal line. That pushes the lead to double digits. With the 2-point conversion, that will make the Spartans lead 14-0 at halftime, shutting out that high-powered Bobcats offense. But you know, Burley can respond. Loveland targets Khalil Schroeder over the middle here. What a grab for Schroeder. That's a first down on the play. Next play, more athleticism. They throw a swing pass out to Gatlin Bear, who takes the ball down the sideline and hurdles 2 defenders for the first down. Back-to-back plays of Burley showing off the weapons. Bobcats would make it a game in the second half, but Minico's mix of defense and a strong run game powered by 4 touchdowns for Japheth Bendeley propelled them to a 42-28 victory. That hands the Bobcats their first loss of the season, securing a 19th straight rival rivalry victory in the game. Quickly before I go, it's worth taking a look at what happened in Kansas City today. Mariners fans, close your eyes.
The winter months start to get closer. Public health experts are advising those at high risk for falls to take proactive measures to help keep themselves safe in the cold weather. KMVT's Zach Bruhl shows us how one way you can prepare.
It kept me alive and spry, I guess.
It's National Fall Prevention Week, and 3 days a week at the Twin Falls Senior Center, they host Fit and Fall classes where seniors can learn to remain agile into their golden years. Well, let's stop talking about it, show you what it's all about.
We've had people that it's hard for them to walk even, and they've gotten so they can walk better.
The classes, which are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10:30, are about more than just staying fit. They also provide a space for seniors to remain social.
It's the only place that most people have to go to is the senior center. So it's been great for the elderly.
I've met a lot of nice friends, and we've done things away from here even, some of them, so it's great.
The Fit and Fall classes are for all ages, and instructors always ensure that anyone who attends can be involved.
I think our exercises are geared that if they can't stand up, that they can sit and do them, so they're still, the movement is what is important.
Classes are held across southern Idaho, and a full list of class offerings can be found on the South Central Public Health District website.
I just think it's so important for the friendship as well as the movement.
In Twin Falls, Zach Bruhl, KMVT News.
You know, it's been a pretty smooth setup this year. Everybody's kind of happy to be going again instead of being shut down like last year. So
all is calm and quiet at the Twin Falls County Fairground for now, but come Wednesday, thousands of people will flock to the venue for the Twin Falls County Fair. Now, what does that mean for local area businesses and, quite frankly, our health system?
There is always concern whenever there's a group gathering, especially now that we know that the Delta variant is able to break through that vaccine barrier a little bit more effectively.
With local health experts expressing concern, will we see any additional precautions in place at the fairgrounds?
We're going full bore. We don't have any mask mandates, and we don't have anything like that. We still got our sanitizing stuffs around that we're gonna continue with that program from last year.
Now, what about our elected officials? Will they suggest any ways that we can be better protected at the fair this week?
Haven't had any real discussions about it. We have not been really in tune with a lot of the numbers at this point. You know, I'll say, you know, what we talked about last year as well. I have a personal responsibility to be safe and be cognizant of other folks, and it doesn't hurt to social distance if you need to, or wear a mask, or whatever the case might be.
So I decided to help Mr. Johnson, and in just a few minutes I found data showing that our county is currently at critical risk for COVID. That's according to South Central Public Health District. St. Luke's Magic Valley is currently at capacity in the ICU, and the Department of Health and Welfare has Twin Falls, Jerome, and Gooding counties in the top 5 for COVID cases.
These numbers are the worst the Magic Valley has seen throughout the pandemic. Tomorrow, Governor Little is holding a press conference to discuss the state of COVID in the state of Idaho. We'll be broadcasting that live from our Facebook at 12:30, and tune into KMVT News at 6 tomorrow, and I'll give you a full wrap-up. Live from the KMVT Newsroom, I'm Zach Bruhl.
This video shows a vehicle chasing down 11-year-old Nathaniel Wallace and his friends after an argument at the skate park, nearly hitting Wallace as he fled on his bike. A family who lived near the park saw what was happening and brought Wallace into their house and away from harm.
They could have just ignored it, went inside, stayed out of it, and instead they jumped in, and they probably saved my son's life, and there's no way to thank them for it.
As the tire marks in the grass show, it was here that the driver first jumped the curb, chasing after 11-year-old Nathaniel and his friends. He then drove through the park towards the residence that ultimately brought Nathaniel away from harm.
So what started all this? I talked with Wallace and one of his friends. They say they were in a verbal altercation after colliding with other kids at the skate park. They also said they aren't too sure who the driver of the truck is or how they're connected. The Cassia County Sheriff's Office is currently investigating the incident.
To be in a vehicle chasing kids, driving across the lawn would warrant something extremely serious.
For Wallace and his family, they are left to deal with the harsher reality of the community they live in.
a mispedal or a misfoot off the pedal or a rock in the road, you know, and he could have fell over. That truck would have had no time and he would have ran him over.
It's just totally uncalled for, and I feel like he needs to be apprehended and some sort of punishment he needs to be held accountable for his actions, for sure.
No charges have been filed yet as the investigation is ongoing, but Lieutenant Horick urges anyone with more information about the vehicle to contact the Cassia County Sheriff's Office. Reporting live from the KMVT newsroom, I'm Zach Bruhl.